Hello everyone and welcome to Brands Hatch for Daily Race C this week. It's Group 2 cars, a 15 lap race, and we only have the racing medium tyres available, but tyre wear is on ×9, so those tyres are going to start to fade, and I believe this is going to be a one-stop race. I don't think you can do it without stopping. So we're starting from the back of the grid then. We've got Will Murdoch up ahead. He's a very fast top split driver, so we'll do well to follow him through the pack the best we can. But we've got through the first couple of corners then without any incidents and without really gaining any positions at all. So up ahead we can see Will going for the inside line through the left-hander, and we're going to try and get a good exit out of here if we can, but we are still a little bit far back, and now there is basically just a slipstream train all the way up to first place as we head down the back straight. So these cars are very affected by the dirty air. They're very high downforce cars, so through these very fast corners it's hard to stick close to the car ahead, and this is quite a narrow track really for these cars, and it's going to be quite difficult to have any overtakes, as we see a number of cars off in the grass then, and the Frenchman colliding with the Spaniard there, losing control, and we've now gained a few positions. So up to 15th place then by the end of the first lap, and we have got through without any trouble at all so far, and we just need to make sure we start catching up with that driver ahead, as it looks like we've dropped back just a little bit due to that carnage, as we see another driver off at turn 1, and we promoted up into 14th place now then. So jumping head onto the end of lap number 2, and we're very close up to the Portuguese driver there. He's kind of a bit glitchy and stops quite suddenly as we break into paddock, and I just end up tapping the rear of him a little bit, but we get away without any incident, and then we've got the inside line for Druids and get that move done. So up to 12th place now then. We're going to leave a bit of space going into the Graham Hill bend though, because it did look like the NSX was a little bit close towards our inside, but we get through there and defend the position. Now if you're enjoying the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. So coming through paddock then, and it seems there's a yellow flag and we gain another position. Not too sure what went on there. I think someone up ahead must have crashed and left the lobby. So nearly into the top 10 then. We've got the French driver Gr.2 up ahead as we get another yellow flag around the end of this lap, and we can see someone off in the grass, and that does promote us up into the top 10 now then. And we have gained time on the French driver up ahead, looking to see if we can gain a bit more time coming through the final corner, and we're not quite close enough to go for a move as we head towards turn 1 as far as I can tell. We just need to try and gain as much time on him as we can. Once again you can see going a little bit wide there. We're gaining time on him coming up towards Druids. Can we get a good exit and maybe send it down the inside into Graham Hill bend? But he gets a better exit than us really out of there. So coming through the left-hander, we do get quite a good exit, but we're not going to have the inside line for the next corner, and we're actually going to jump around a little bit later on in the lap because we had to stick behind him for the rest of the lap. But he runs very wide out of the final corner. He gets a couple of wheels on the grass and just has to really back out of that so he doesn't end up losing control of the car. So we're up to 9th place now then. We can see Will in 8th up ahead, just a second and a half ahead of us. So we need to try and catch up to him as quick as we can, but we all run a little bit deep there, and I got a bit distracted by what was going on up ahead. So that promotes us up into 8th place now then, with Will in 7th just ahead. So lap 7 then, and it seems like the majority of the cars are starting to pit now, and this promotes us up into 3rd, 4th place as we cross the line. It looks like we're actually going to be in 5th place as we see Will gets just ahead of Adept Cyberman 4 there, the South African driver, and he's going to have fresh tyres though, so he's going to be all over the back of Will on this outlap, and we need to try to see if we can catch up to the two of them as best we can. I'm going to be pitting at the end of this lap, as I believe will as well, and coming through the last few turns then, and Will ends up a little bit wide on the grass. Adept Cyberman goes very wide there as he weaves to just try and clean his tyres off, I believe, and then coming through to the final corner, we're going to dive into the pit lane And we can see Will absolutely straight lining it there, so it looks like you don't get a penalty. We clip the barrier slightly, and this pit lane lost time is very, very short this week compared to other tracks that it's been recently. I think you only spend 5 seconds in the pits, and then you release very, very quickly, so you don't lose much time at all. We come out in 8th place then, and unfortunately we do have Tartan Racer between us and Will, so really we wanted to be right behind Will at this point in the race and try to follow him around and gain as many positions as possible, but we do now have a bit of traffic up ahead. But really enjoying this race this week. I am racing at Brands Hatch in real life this weekend, so it's going to be quite a good practice. And if you haven't already seen the highlights from my race in real life at Alton Park, I'll put a link at the top of the screen. So lap number 10 then, and Will's got ahead of the 6th place Frenchman, and we now have 2 cars between us, and we're going to have to try and get past these at some point if we can. We get a good exit there up the hill and onto the back straight, and we're going to move over to the inside and get the inside line. You can see we're going to be side by side as we go into the right hander, but we do have that inside line down 2 gears and keeping it through tight to the apex, and that's a position gained. And now we need to see if we can catch up to that French driver as soon as possible, as he takes a very narrow line coming through here, very unusual line through there, and then through the left-hander. I don't know the corner names. I know I probably should. I've never driven on the GP circuit in real life. It's always the Indy circuit that I tend to race on. They don't use the GP circuit that often, only for the big events because of noise complaints from the local residents to Brands Hatch. So anyway, coming towards turn 1 then, we are very close this time. The French driver going for a narrow line, so we're going to go a little bit wider just to try and get a bit more downforce. Coming towards Druids then, and can we get a good exit out of here? And as we go down the hill, we can see Will's gained quite a lot of time over the both of us now, being able to utilise those fresh tyres better than we have. We've run very wide out of Graham Hill Bend, and you definitely cannot do that in real life. It's just grass there. The curb is nowhere near as big as it is on the game. And then we do get the inside line, and coming up the hill we have got a move done. Lap 13 there, there's a yellow flag out, and someone else has absolutely binned it, and that promotes us up into 5th place. But we are now 5 seconds behind Will with only a couple of laps left to go, so we're not really going to be able to do much more from this point in the race. And by the last lap we can see we have caught up with the South African driver ahead. He's just 3 seconds ahead now, and Will has managed to get himself onto the podium. We crossed the line to finish in 5th place, so a good result from the back of the grid then, and I really enjoyed the race. It's a shame we got held up with the traffic when we come out of the pit stop, because we might have been able to get close to the podium. We can see that Will was very close to 2nd place there as well, so you know, if we'd both managed to come out ahead of those 2 cars after the pit stops, maybe we could have both been on the podium. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Once again, if you did enjoy it, give the video a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you again very soon.